expect from a top team. So it's the beginning of the season, and you know it has to come with the games. The players need always to play games to become in good shape. Sorry. So I think in a few weeks it will be better. But for the moment, yeah, we all know, I think, that the level has to be increased.
And speaking about increasing the level, are there any teams that have impressed you in how they've started the season? Perhaps one looks at the team currently sitting at the top of the table in Sekhukhune.
I saw many games where the heart was more important than the brains. And I think we saw it yesterday also in the game against Chiefs and Sundowns. The boys on the pitch, they fight it for every ball, but there was no good football. So this is something that I saw now in the first games of PSL. And for me, what I saw till now is Sekhukhune, who plays the best football. They play good football, good rhythm, nice combinations. So, okay, I think, yeah, they are on the good way.
A good way there, Sekhukhune United. Of course, not quite the performance they wanted to have in the M10-8. But Mazole, let's bring you into the conversation just ahead. You're absolutely welcome.
I think Coach will agree with me. The September transfer window, and the FIFA window is probably the worst for a national team coach. Players have moved around quite a bit. A lot of them are unsettled as well. And then you've got crucial World Cup qualifiers. You know, you end up tweaking. You know, yes, all players that you are in your pool are good enough, but we know that you have the elite of the group that you have, and some of them might not be available. So it's a tricky one to navigate because my bags are packed. I need to go to the World Cup next year, Coach, please.
So, Coach, perhaps touch on that, this transfer window, what we've seen, the movements of the players, less visibility for certain players as well, and some players not getting as much game time as one would expect with their new movements.
Yeah, this is also for the moment a little problem for some players. When I see, for example, Fawaz, Basadine, at the one side it's normal, you're coming in a new team, a different way of playing, so you have to adapt. And I think that Fawaz for the moment is a little bit looking for the best shape for himself. He misses a little bit confidence when I see him playing yesterday also, the first half. And then, yeah, those transfer windows.
Are you worried at all about that, Coach? Fawaz? Are you worried at all about Fawaz having made the move?
No, I don't worry. But you know, for the moment, this is not Fawaz what we saw last year in Stellenbosch, and not Fawaz we saw in the national team. So it's not easy for me when you make selections and you see not that, yes, that, or whatever, that you have to conclude. Fawaz for the moment, no, we can't take him because those games are too important. We need guys who are in good shape, who are mentally very good for the moment, because don't underestimate Lesotho, and I don't have to speak about Nigeria. And we all know that if we're doing good in those two games, that maybe next week we are with 1.5 steps on the World Cup.
100%.
And this is very important. Certainly the first game against Lesotho, we have to win that game. And I think already then we can be in a fantastic position to qualify us for the World Cup.
Yeah.
And you look at the South African team currently sitting at the top of the group, of course, on 13 points. But, Coach, before we go a little bit deeper in terms of what this road has looked like in terms of qualification, when you have to sit and select a team and you have to take into account player movements, as Mazole is mentioning, and you have to also look at the players that can't be available to you due to injury. Let's speak to that, because we saw that preliminary list coming out and we knew already 1 or 2 or 3 of these players won't be available for you for selection. How is that affecting you in terms of your preparations?
You know, you can do 2 things. Sitting in the corner and cry because this one is not there, this one is there. That doesn't solve the problem, if there is a problem. So I have full confidence in the guys I selected now. I know them all. There are a few new ones, but I saw their performances in their club, so I don't hesitate to select them. But you know, when you start and making the list, and you have to say, oh, Zwane is injured. Colisso, he don't play because of disagreement with it. Oh, Sibisi is injured. Then on the right back, okay, Colisso is not there. Oh, we take Van Rooyen. Bang, Van Rooyen is...
He gets injured as well, yeah.
Then you say to each other, well, man and me, shit, what are we going to do? But that doesn't solve it. So again, I have full confidence in those guys who are there. And I know when they're coming to the national team, and this is the experience I have from the former months and years, they are all happy, and they're all happy to be there. And they are ready to give them for 150% to have a good result. So I'm not really worried about that.
All right, so umqeqeshi siyambona ukuthi ukhathazekile ingakho nelanguage ithi ukushintsha kancane. But coach, let's just quickly touch on the last time I had a sit down here with you, you mentioned that you wanted certain players to be in the team, but due to the limitations in terms of your squad, you couldn't have them. So you wanted them put into the COSAFA team so you could have a look at those players. And we saw a number of those COSAFA players coming through in your preliminary squad. We look at the likes of your Email Kon, you look at your Kamagelo Sibilibili, we look at Mduduzi Shabalala. Let's speak to those players that you wanted to get your eye on, including Abuso Ditejane. What did you make of the COSAFA tournament and the players that were given the nod there and those that you feel put up their hands to make it into your team now?
Yeah, first of all, as what you said, there were players in COSAFA that we had to watch more and see if they were ready, if we needed them to come. We are now a little bit forced to do things that we wanted to do in the next months because there are some players who are not there.
Yeah.
But at the other side it's not so bad because now we have to take them. They are there. It's up to them to prove. And we will give them the chance to prove how good they are, and then we will see for the next months. The other thing, what for me was a little bit disappointed, is that, but okay, you can nothing do about it, is Shan. You have to go to Shan with players who don't have clubs. This is unbelievable. But there is no other solution because I understand the clubs that don't want to give the players in the middle or in the beginning of a season to go 2 weeks or 3 weeks to Shan. But those competitions should be for those players and let them have an international experience. And it would be better after, when they came with us, they have already that.
Yeah.
Now you have players who are with us, we don't really have that international experience.
Correct.
But okay, again, I don't complain about that. And well, what should it solve, or why should it be better if I start here complaining? No, those guys will do it, and I'm full confidence.
And coach will not go into a corner and cry. He'll just make do with what the situation is. We are, of course, building up to the squad announcement. 2 World Cup qualifiers coming up for Ningizim Africa against Lesotho as well as Nigeria. When we return after the break, we take a closer look at what the group is looking like that Ningizim Africa is playing in, and also what the expectations are from umqeqeshi weNingizimu Africa or coach Hugo Bruce. Do stay tuned. We're now building up to the Bafana squad announcement. It is 2 World Cup qualifiers coming up for Ningizim Africa up against the nation of Lesotho as well as Nigeria. Those encounters will be taking place in Bloemfontein. Kanti njengemihla SABC Sport will be bringing you the action live. The Lesotho encounter build-up starting at 5:30 live on SABC2. That's on the 5th of September. And then 4 days later, on the 9th of September, still in Bloemfontein, with kickoff at 6 p.m. Build-up at 5:30. That encounter will be live on SABC3 as we take on our arch nemesis in Nigeria, a team that really just wants to give South Africa many problems off the field of play, not just on the field of play. But we take a look at the journey that Ningizim Africa has traveled to get to where we are now, sitting at the top of the log. But coach and Mazola, we look at what the South African team has been able to do so far in these World Cup qualifiers, and it's been a solid run.
I think the only result that doesn't please me is the result in Rwanda, but there are excuses. The field, to the pitch, where we had to play.
It was a swimming pool.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Then from the airport to I don't even remember the name of the place we played. It was what, 60 kilometers or something. We did 3 hours on it. So, and then you see that after us, Nigeria can play in a brand new stadium in Kigali. Those things are not normal, and I think I said it already before here. This is not fair.
Yeah.
If they don't have a stadium, okay, you don't have a stadium for all the qualifiers.
For all the opponents you come up
qualifiers.
against.
Finished, but I play in a...
Do like the others that have been using South Africa, for instance, as a venue because their stadiums in their home countries, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, you name them, Namibia, they're not good enough. So now, why was the Rwanda
but now
pitch
I
allowed?
hear that Zimbabwe maybe will play against us in Zimbabwe in a stadium.
Yeah.
And that will be interesting to see. And we'll get a little bit deeper into that. But, Coach, we look at where South Africa is currently sitting in terms of our World Cup qualifying group, Group C, 13 points. We're followed by Rwanda on 8 points, as well as Benin on 8 points. What do you make of where we sit on the log, the number of points we've got, and some issues that may still need to be resolved? And Mazola will delve a little bit deeper into that.
So again, I'm very happy with the points we have till now. As I said, except the result in Rwanda, if we should have played on a good pitch, maybe we should have 1 point more or maybe 3. But okay, those things are happening. For the rest, Rwanda is for me a surprise, really. Not because they were so good against us, but yeah, they are second. And Nigeria is fourth, and they are already 7 points or 8 points behind us. This is also a surprise. So they started very, very bad on the competition. And now, yeah, I understand it from their side. Now they try to beat us out of the pitch.
Let's go a little bit deeper, Mazola. I know you want to.
Like that.
I wanted to hear the coach's thoughts on this because obviously the group looks relatively comfortable from our end, but there's the politics behind it with Nigeria still pushing for FIFA to give an answer on the having played Teboho Mokoena, who allegedly was suspended, whatever the case may be. I mean, how is that weighing in your mindset in terms of knowing that there's still a dark cloud hanging behind us in terms of this fixture?
Look, first of all, you don't have to think about it. When the decision will be, okay, you lose the 3 points, you lose the 3 points. This is, so you don't have to think about a lot of on that. At the other side, when the rules are followed, there is no complaint. There is no complaint. How can you punish then someone if there is no complaint? So if FIFA...
And they were not even in that fixture.
Yeah, yeah, and even that. So it's not Lesotho who is pushing. No, Lesotho didn't make a complaint, or maybe like we, I have to be honest, we didn't know it, that Mokoena couldn't play that game. So Lesotho didn't know either, because if they should have known it immediately after the final whistle, they should have done a complaint. Yeah. So there is no complaint. What is Nigeria doing for the moment? There is no complaint. And they were not involved.
Settle it on the pitch.
They
have an opportunity to settle it on the pitch.
I understand. They have an opportunity now to come 3 points closer. Yeah. But if we see what we did till now, why should we start doubting and be worried and be afraid? We won all the games we had to win. We did very good results in Nigeria. We won in Benin. So why being worried now and say, yeah, but yeah, if they come back from 3 points, and yeah, if it's like that, it's like that. And then we have to fight for the qualifiers. Finished.
100%.
This could be a normal ranking. We first, Nigeria 3 points behind, Benin maybe 4 points behind, or we 3 points behind Nigeria. That could have been normal in this group. What should we say then? So I don't think about it. I focus on the game on Friday against Lesotho, and I will focus then after Lesotho on the game of Nigeria, and we will see what the result is. But I know now that we are in a very good position, and that we have to try to keep that position.
And we'll talk to those games coming up out in Bloemfontein for Eningizimu Africa against Lesotho, as well as Nigeria on the 5th, as well as the 9th of September. These are two teams that South Africa has already collected 4 points from out of a possible 6. When we return after the break, I know you've been waiting for this. Coach Hugo Bruce will reveal the squad that will take on those two nations. Welcome back. We're almost handing over to Coach Hugo Bruce to reveal to us the players that will represent Eningizimu Africa in the 2 World Cup qualifiers coming up against Lesotho as well as Nigeria. Coach, before we get to the reveal of the players, perhaps talk us through, when you look at these upcoming World Cup qualifiers, Lesotho, Nigeria, what are your thoughts on the opponents? What realistically are your expectations in terms of the points you want to come out with? And we also know Nigeria has already released their preliminary team. What are your thoughts on that as well?
First of all, I think the biggest mistake we can make is to underestimate Lesotho.
Yeah.
Okay, Lesotho don't have a name of a big team and whatever, but it's a dangerous team, a very dangerous team. They played a draw in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And okay, we beat them in March, but we have to beat them again. And if we are not on our best level, it will be a very, very difficult game. Nigeria, okay, everybody knows before we played one game, this will be the team we have to beat, because everyone expected that Nigeria should be first. Yeah, they started very badly. They still can qualify. Maybe they don't think so much anymore at the first place, but the second place, for the moment they are fourth. So they also have to win their games. Yeah. And this is a little surprise for me, again, but I think we have to be confident for the game against Nigeria. We were there, we played a draw. In the AFCON, we could have won against them because we played a very good game, so we don't have to be afraid, and that should be the second mistake we can make. Then when we play against Nigeria, to be afraid, to be too nervous, doubting, we don't have to do that. So let's hope that we can achieve that. That should be very good. And what was the other question?
Just in terms of your takeaway, are we looking for a 4-6 points here? Are you happy with a draw and a win?
6 points, Coach. The bags are packed.
All the way.
All the way, yeah.
No, I think the first and most important thing is to beat Lesotho.
Yeah.
And then we will see. Nigeria is playing against Rwanda. Benin is playing against Zimbabwe. They are not easy games for them either. So if we win, everything stays the same, or maybe become even better for us. And then we will see against Nigeria how we are going to solve that problem. Maybe for us, a draw is enough. And maybe with a draw, we are maybe qualified already, if things are really good for us. So, again, let's be confident, and the way we played in the previous qualifiers, the results we have, the football we bring, why should we start now doubting and saying, yes, but this, yes, but that? Just play our game, guys, and focus on it. And I'm sure then that we will achieve what we want. And what we want with all South Africa going to America or Canada or Mexico next year.
Indeed. And with the choice of Bloemfontein as the venue for these two clashes, talk to us about that.
Yes, what is you want to please everyone. So we were in Cape Town, we were in Port Alfred, in Port Elizabeth. We were in what's the other one? In Polokwane. Okay, we were already once, a few years ago in Bloemfontein for friendlies, I think. So yes, you want to please the people also there and to come and play your games also. But I'm a little bit disappointed and angry too when I was before yesterday in Bloemfontein and I saw the pitch. Yes, I was really, really very, very disappointed when I see that. And okay, they said yes, but there was Kosovo. Kosovo ended in the half of June.
It's a long time ago.
They still had 6 weeks to do it. And when I see the efforts the other cities did for us, Cape Town, Port Elizabeth and Polokwane, I'm a little bit, no, I'm very disappointed that they didn't do the same efforts to give us a fantastic pitch player.
So are you gonna go earlier or later?
Yeah, normally the idea was to go already on Monday and to stay for the 2 qualifiers in Bloemfontein. I cancelled that because we can, even the training speech is bad, so we can't do that. So we will train here in Joburg and go on Thursday to Bloemfontein and then play our game. Okay, the game against Lesotho is host. We can't complain. We can't complain. But yeah, for the game against Nigeria, yeah. It's a little bit, no, it's not a little bit, it's a big disillusion for me and disappointed to see that.
And Coach, before we get to reveal the players, and I'm so sorry about those pitch conditions, but we know that you're going to secure the 6 points nonetheless. Before we reveal the squad, Coach, there are certain players that had made it into your squad previously for that Mozambique game as well as Tanzania that have completely fallen out. We didn't see them in your preliminary squad. Perhaps you can talk to us about those. We have the likes of Silepe from Orlando Pirates, 2 players that are currently now with Orlando Pirates but were with Richards Bay and Chippa United respectively, Sinokolo Kwaiba, who was at Chippa United, as well as Mbutsuma, who was with Richards Bay.
Yeah, first of all, you have to see how much those players played. If you take the case of Kwaiba,
he's hardly kicked the ball, yeah.
Sorry?
I'm saying he's hardly kicked the ball.
No, yeah. So how can you take a player like this, even he has qualities, for a game like this? And I told already before also that the most important thing for a player is to have to play. To have the rhythm of the game. If you are not playing for 4 or 5 weeks. So even if Kuliso should play now next Saturday with Sundowns, he is not ready to play. So and that makes also our choices to drop a player because he's not playing enough. You know the discussion with Percy Tau the former years, but Percy Tau didn't play enough, and you see that on a player immediately after 3 or 4 weeks. And then he comes back, he's not immediately in the game. And we can't afford ourselves to do that for those 2 important games.
Indeed, that is to the likes of Mbutsuma, the young Orlando Pirates player in Silepe, as well as Kwaiba. Coach, it's over to you now to reveal to us the players that will represent South Africa in the upcoming World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, thank you. So the players selected for Lesotho and Nigeria are the following. First of all, the goalkeepers, Ronwen Williams, Ricardo Goss, and Sifo Shane. Defenders, Sydney Moby, Zuko Mondunyelwa, Mbekezeli Mbokazi, Audrey Modiba, Kulumanu Endamane, Ime Okon, Samukelo Kabini, and Siabonga Ngezana. Midfield, Tebogo Mokoena, Luc Leroux, Batusi Obas, and Talente Mbata. Strikers, Kamogele Sebelebele, Oswin Apolis, Patrick Maswangani, Ikram Reiners, Lyle Foster, Mdududzi Shabalala, Muhammad Kota, and Rele Bohili Mofokeng.
All right, that, ladies and gentlemen, are the 23 players of Iningism Africa that will play against Lesotho as well as Nigeria. Just to take you through that list one more time, and a confirmation as given by Coach Hugo Bruce. Out in goals, we have Ronwen Williams, Ricardo Goss, as well as Sipho Chain. Moving on into the defenders, we have Sydney Moby, we have Zuko Mdunyelwa and Mbekezeli Mbokazi, Aubrey Modiba, as well as Kulumane Ndamane. And wrapping it up is Ime Okon, the man that has moved over to Hanover 96. We now then move on and continue with those defenders, Samkelo Kabini, Siabonga Ngezane, wrapping up the defenders. Moving on into the midfield, Tebogo Mokoena of Mamelodi Sundowns, Luc Leroux of Portsmouth FC, Batusi Obas of Mamelodi Sundowns, as well as Talente Mbata of Orlando Pirates. And in terms of the forwards, Kamogelo Sibilibili Oswin Apollos, Patrick Maswanganyi, Ekhram Reyners, Lyle Foster, Mduduzi Shabalala, Mohau Nkota, as well as Relebohile Mofokeng. Those are the 23 players that South Africa is sending to war in these World Cup qualifiers against the Lesotho nation, ranked number 148 in the world, as well as Nigeria, ranked at number 44. Okay, so I'm going to come to you first, Mazola, just to get your first overall initial thoughts in terms of the 23-player squad.
Yeah, I mean, the coach was talking about how it would have been difficult so early into the season to pick some of the, if I can use that word, coach, the regulars, because we know of the current situation as well. But I'm happy for Ime Okon, and that's what I wanted to get the coach's thoughts on. Top league, I think one would imagine, even though it's the German second tier, but it's a top league nonetheless. He's playing regularly, he's already scored a goal. Just your thoughts on Ime and just the dynamics of, and I think you're also going younger. After the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, you mentioned that perhaps even your centre-backs were getting a little bit older. And if I look at the average age, easily between 25 and 26, that bodes well for the future.
Yeah, there's, as you said, we knew and we saw after AFCON that we had to start to look for younger players.
Yeah.
And what about Ime? We had him already on our list when he played for Supersport. But when we see him playing now with Hanover, he make a very big progression, very big progression. So I think he deserved to be with us for those 2 games. So it's up to him now. I think it's the first time that he's with us since I've been coach here for Bafana. Yeah. So it's up to him now. He will get his moments to play, and he has to grab the chance with his 2 hands.
And decision made, he's not going to play for Nigeria, he's playing for South Africa.
He's played for Safa already.
That was something also, because we talked about him, Helman and me, and he said, yes, we have to hurry, because when tomorrow he shoots for Nigeria, we lose him. So, okay, that was not really the reason, but still, we thought about it.
Yeah,
imagine that those guys in Nigeria, I will not say the word, but what they do with us now with those 3 points. So imagine that they do this with him. Then I should go to Nigeria and kill a few people there, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, everything is okay. The guy is there, and we will let him play as soon as possible, so that he can't change his mind anymore afterwards. That's a joke.
That's an email gone, coach. But overall, for this camp here, you also had the ability to bring back Mamelodi Sundowns players, because we know for the 2 international friendlies, Mozambique and Tanzania, you didn't have them because of Club World Cup. But we're also seeing a number of changes in terms of these Mamelodi Sundowns players. We're not seeing a Jaden Adams, we're not seeing a Tapelo Morena, we're not seeing a Grant Kekana. You touched slightly on a Basadine, that he's not the same type of player that you were seeing out at Stellenbosch. Let's touch a little bit on that, coach.
Yeah, Kekana is injured. So he was not ready either to be with us. Jaden, I think we talked about him for the moment. Jaden is not that level we want from him. Fawaz, same thing. And Tapelo is coming out of injury. His first game he played now with the Sundowns yesterday.
Yeah.
Before he was again injured on the hamstring, I think. So I think Morena is for the moment not ready to play those games. I think people don't have to underestimate those games. And I said it also before, this is a higher level. Even you play against Lesotho, you can't compare it with the PSL game.
No chance.
And we have to be careful with that we don't take a player who is not ready. So therefore, for example, Sebelebele is in fantastic form for the moment.
He's killing it.
So if we doubt between Tapelo and between him,
that's the other thing. He can play all the different positions.
The choice is very, very easy to make, because and the Duji is ready.
Sebelebele.
He's ready.
And Zuko as well is an interesting choice at Sundowns, because he's the one with Tapelo not available, with Kuliso not available. Zuko is getting the game time, so he's at the level that you require.
Yeah, sure. And also with the qualities he has, yeah, he's quick, he works hard, he scores. Yeah, why should we doubt about him?
All right, so we do see a number of new inclusions coming through for Coach Hugo Bruce, and this is a squad that likes of Zuko Mdunyelwa, Ima Okon. We do have Mduduzi Shabalala from Kaizer Chiefs as well, making it into the 23-player squad, as well as Okamogelo Sibilibili of the Orlando Pirates. Let's take you through to an ad break. When we return, we'll get an opportunity to hear from our friends in the media, as well as get to pick Coach Hugo Bruce's brain a little bit more in terms of the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Welcome back. Coach Hugo Bruce has announced the 23-player squad that will come up against Lesotho as well as Nigeria on the 5th and the 9th of September. You can catch those encounters live on SABC2 on the 5th of September, and on the 9th on September, it will be live on SABC3 as we take on those two nations. Coach, I wanted to, just before we go to the journalists, quickly get your thoughts in terms of having looked at this Nigerian team, and you said we shouldn't underestimate Lesotho, but Nigeria, you've seen their preliminary squad. What do you make of that squad?
Yeah, there were no surprises. All the big names are there, Lokman, Osimhen, and others. And when I see the last games of Nigeria, and then I don't talk about the games they played in June, kind of tournament or whatever. But what they played in March, there is not so much changed with the team we played against them in AFCON. So we know everything about Nigeria. I don't think they can have a surprise for us. Osimhen will be there, Lokman will be there, David will be there, Chukwueze. So the normal team will be there. And I think also that maybe they are more afraid of us than we are.
Absolutely love it. They should be.
Yeah, but I hear some rumors and from players who play here in the competition, and they're coming to tell me, yes,
they are shaking their boots.
They are not really confident anymore than like before. When they played against South Africa, okay. Yeah, but that changed. And this is something we had to use also in the games.
Absolutely.
And therefore, I said already before, no doubtings, be confident. We have a good team.
Indeed, and we have seen Bafana come out so different under Coach Hugo Bruce. Let's speak to our friends in the media who are joining us here this afternoon. If I can just ask you to introduce yourself, let us know which media house or publication you're from, and ask Coach Hugo your question.
Good afternoon, Coach. Nick Leeson for Backpage Media. Good afternoon, Coach. Nick Leeson for Backpage Media. With the selection of Mbukazi, obviously you had a look at him in June, July when he played against Mozambique. How impressed are you with the maturity that he's shown, not only thriving now at Pirates, but stepping into that captain's role in the absence of Sibisi at such a young age?
You know, this is a player, and I didn't see that so much. But from the beginning, he showed me a very mature attitude. He's confident. He's strong. He has a good technique. He plays without fear. And this is special for a young player. And I was curious when he came with us in March to see him playing with the team, those friendly games. And I was assured that when I saw him playing, this was for me the proof that he's a very good player, a very good defender, and a very young one. So I never doubt 1 second when I make the list not to take him.
Nice.
He is really, really good, and I think it's a long time ago what I can say, because I don't know the history of South African football, but the 4 years when I'm here, I never saw a defender like this, and young. So I'm very happy with him.
Coach, do you think it's better for him to stay playing for Pirates instead of going to the Under-20 World Cup, for instance?
I think what I said for Relay also last year, I think it's good for him to stay another year. Normally Pirates will play Champions League. Yeah, he's playing in a good team. They will play, I hope, and there will be a good battle to be champion between Sundowns Day and maybe Chiefs, and it will be good for him. But if he goes on like this is a guy that has to go to Europe, certainly, with the skills he has, with the quality he has. He's a nice guy. He's very humble in the group. Yeah, this is a guy who has to go to Europe next year. But the best thing for him is to stay now and just make performance like he did till now.
And we'll get deeper into that question that you had, Mazola, in terms of under 20 Orlando Pirates. Nice life problems from guys.
Coach, Mandla Dladla from Dladla Media. Coach, speaking of the youngsters, we see youngsters like Ime Okon, excuse me, Relebohile Mfukeng, and the rest of the guys. What's your message, Coach, to all the other youngsters that are playing in the PSL, you know, because it clearly shows that you're a coach who believes in youngsters as long as someone is performing. So what's your message to all the other youngsters that are playing in the other PSL teams, you know, in order for them to get into the national team?
I did really understand what you...
Your message, Coach, to the youngsters that are playing in the PSL team that would like to make it into your Bafana Bafana team.
You know, you always have to do choices. And I can't play or I can't select a group of players who are all 19, 20, 21. So sometimes when you make the selection, you choose the older, the more experienced player. Because you can't afford it in those games, certainly, to put someone. You always have to wait and to see if the player is ready. And that's what I said for Mbokazi too. I saw him playing Pirates, I said, oh, good player. But he still have to do it with the national team. And he did it. But that was a friendly game. Imagine that he should play a very bad game, okay, what was the problem? But now I can't take that risk. So, and I know there are others. When you see the preliminary list, there are still other young players who maybe deserve a chance. But yeah, that's a matter of choice. And take from me, when I have the opportunity to do it, even for the next qualifiers in October, I will do it. If I know that we are qualified, you will see. That is the good opportunity to put maybe those other ones then. But now we have to win, we have to qualify. We don't have to make experiences now. We have to be sure when we choose.
We'll make experiences later. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon, colleagues. Bonganim Tim Kulu here from Teta FM. Coach, my question is based on the goalkeepers that you have chosen, good choices that you've made. But I want to ask about Brendan Peterson, who has now got 4 consecutive clean sheets playing for Kaizer Chiefs. I want to just ask, Coach, do you consider his form, or is he a bit inexperienced to play for the national team?
You know, there was a time, and that was in the beginning I was here, we have really to search for good goalkeepers. There were no. Williams was there. Goss was still in Sundowns, second or third keeper. Shane, nobody knew him.
Yeah.
So now we have those 3. We have Lena.
Good options.
We have the other one, I forgot his name. Thompson? No, Johnson. No, what is it? He was with us the last time. From we have now Peterson. When I see the progression of Peterson comparing with the previous season, we make a big... So we have another good keeper. But yeah, I can only select 3. So I know maybe the performances he made for the Chiefs now for the moment, yeah, he deserved it also, but I can't put out Goss, or I can't put out Williams, or I can't even put out Shane. He has to wait, and let's hope for him that the chance and the opportunity comes in the future for him.
Coach, that one you were looking for, Darren Johnson, from Amazulu. All right, let's move on. Good afternoon to you.
Hey, good afternoon. Ernie from Safa TV on S2. Coach, Nigeria brings pace and power. Where does Bafana have the edge to beat them?
To beat who?
Where does Bafana have the edge to beat Nigeria, who bring power and pace?
We have also power.
And pace.
We also have
and
also
we
pace.
have also quality. And we have also all what you tell about Nigeria. We have also. And we proved it in the games against Nigeria. So yeah, let's prove it again.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, but you know, when I said it already a few times here, I'm really confident. I know those players, and I see how they are focused when they come to the national team. You ask every player who is in the national team, what do you want in the next months? And all they will say, well, go to America. So this is for them, they're focused really on that. And when you have such a team who focused on that, you have a big chance to achieve it.
We have pace and power. Bring it on. Salwanaput.
Good afternoon, Coach. It's Newa Boho from Soccer Beat. Coach, one of the players that have been prolific during the Betway Premiership this season is Amakosi's Thabiso Munyane. Is he a player that you are also just monitoring ahead of the October qualifiers, looking at the way how he has also helped Amakosi to keep those clean sheets at the back?
Thabiso Munyane, Coach, we spoke about him earlier off air, joining Kaizer Chiefs from Orlando Pirates. What you make of him? Is he a player that you're looking at for the future?
You know, that was a guy who was on our list a year ago, and he played with us a friendly game, I think, more than a year ago. But when you see then what happens with him
at Orlando Pirates,
in Pirates, he didn't play anymore certain moment. So now he's back in Chiefs, and you see little by little he's coming again to a level we expect from him. So maybe this selection was a little bit too soon. I hope that he can confirm in the next weeks what he showed us in the former weeks. And then again, who says he's again with us maybe for the qualifiers in October.
All right, so thank you so much to our friends in the media for joining us here this afternoon, putting their questions to Coach Hugo Broos. We can confirm to you there are 4 players that make their way into Coach Hugo Broos's team. It is Mike Mamosha, Osibilibili. We have an email gone. We've got Mduduzi Shabalala as well, making his way into Coach Hugo Broos's team. And we do wrap it up there with Azuko Mdunyelo from Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's take you through to an ad break. When we come back, we start wrapping up and throwing forward to the 5th and the 9th of September. It's going to be exciting as Iningizimu Africa takes on Lesotho, ranked 144 in the world, and Nigeria, ranked number 44. Well, we do have 2 World Cup qualifiers coming up for Iningizimu Africa. On the 5th of September, we will be taking on Lesotho. The build-up starts at 5:30. You can catch it live on SABC2 as well as on SABC+. And then just a couple of days later from there, 4 days later to be exact, Bafana Bafana will be taking on Nigeria. This one live on SABC3 as well as SABC+, with the build-up starting at 5:30 and kick-off at 6 p.m. Ibola Liga no Pujuzayo, proudly brought to you by SABC Sport for the love of the game. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm impressed with Coach Hugo's squad. Obviously, a couple of players missing for obvious reasons, but all we will care about is the 6 points.
Coach, your final thoughts?
What I said, and I will repeat it again, I'm confident. And I believe in that team, even there are players who are not there because they're injured or for other reasons. But I believe in those guys, and we will do everything what we do since many years now to win those games. And if we win twice, we are qualified.
All right.
That is sure.
Win twice, we qualify. Coach did say off air, once again, ladies and gentlemen, a confirmation of that 23-player squad, all the way from goalkeepers to forwards, that will play the 2 World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho as well as Nigeria. A big, big good luck to Coach Hugo Broos and his troops. Coach, we love the work that you're doing. We love how you've brought the love of Bafana Bafana back to us as a South African nation. And we know the people of Bloemfontein will fill the stadium up to the rafters, so you don't have to worry about the 12th man. Iningizimu Africa, for myself, Ubusiwe Indogazi Yagwangcobo, and we've got the Super Journo Mazola Mulife, and of course, the longest-serving coach for Bafana Bafana, Coach Hugo Broos, from the 3 of us. Until next time, have yourselves a good afternoon, and God bless you.